Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War Dire-BOAR-lical event, in which the Dire Boar is added to the game. So let's get into that. As far as the Arcane Tristone for this boar, it is 300 each, Arcane of Light. We will use this mainly on the Manticore if you're going to be using that in early on in the game, or later on in the game you'd most likely want to put it onto a Forest Guardian. As far as what this troop is used for, it's basically just a early game damager, kind of in a similar vein of Knight Coronet as well as some of the other boars, except it can actually destroy, gain a little bit of board control off it, and do a decent amount of damage. Other than that, it also gets to start with half mana, allowing it to get up relatively quick, given that it will pretty much keep getting its mana up every single time off the destroy row it has. It is destroy, so it does indeed accumulate all the mana from the gems that it does go through the row, as well as whatever it ends up cascading as well. But anyways, pretty average troop. We do end up getting some extra bonuses from it though, of course. This week we have 10% to all beasts, 10% to all orcs, but we also get 5 extra glory every single PvP battle that we end up winning with the boar. This does indeed stack with the hero classes that now have those +1 glory on them. So something like a Titan hero class, for example, ends up having one of those perks, I believe on their 20th one if I'm not mistaken, which once you have it unlocked you gain 1 additional glory, and it does stack with its 5 additional glory for 6 additional glory extra every single PvP battle, and that does work in casual PvP as well, both of those 2 bonuses. And other than that, as far as the event objective itself, you're probably going to want to be in PvP anyways, since you got to go kill a bunch of enemies in PvP in order to get a lot of gems, 150 available this week, as well as 120 all at once, simply off that final one. So definitely a good week to go spend some time in PvP then. So, as far as things are noteworthy, as far as event keys, nothing really good here. Maybe if you need some more things for invasion, you can go maybe get a few, but nothing particularly good within this drop table. I would pretty much just ignore it this week. As far as the Soulforge, there are 2 absolutely amazing things, however. We have 2 of the absolute best mythics in the entire game, Infernus and Fair Shroud, both available. Which one is better? That is really dependent on which one you are kind of seeking on doing. Fair Shroud, of course, is the best soul farming troop in the game. Not really used much in PvP, though you could use it in PvP if you so choose to, with various soul farming teams, like with a Dragon Soul in front of it or a Dark Troll in front of it. But it does have 150% soul gain, making it, of course, the best soul gainer. Has a really decent amount off its ability as well. And if you're planning on going long term to farm millions upon millions of souls, this will save you hours upon hours of time, and it's definitely something you should advise getting as quickly as possible if you are planning on going on the long term for a lot of souls, particularly into Dawnbringer, or simply just maxing out the level on anything. You'll need million upon millions of souls in order to do so. As far as the Infernus, he's just the most consistent damage output at the moment as far as mythics are concerned. Deals a lot of damage every single cast. It hits in a way that Submerge can't block against it, and Barrier can't even block against it because it hits so many times over again. It even has 5 Explode, so it gains a good amount of its mana back. And it's also, on top of all that, it gets a Firestorm every single time it gets a kill, which means it has an explosion into a Firestorm, which is extremely strong. And if that wasn't enough, it also has the best burn in the entire game, being able to burn all enemies every single time it extra turns, and is arguably the best mythic in the game. So both of those 2, really good to go craft. I'll be showing a team for both of those as well a little bit later in the video. So other than that, of course, we have invasions this week. If we go under the guild and go under 2 invasions, we have all these normal battles, of course, as is tradition now, it seems, with this new patch. If we go under shop, it is possible to get legendary ingots off of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Other than that, the weapon this time around is pretty relevant to the degree that I would say definitely get it. Costs 250 gems to get up to this point, though you could also craft it in Soulforge if you don't want to spend that. Though, personally, I feel like it's better just to go and spend a 250 gems on this. You get half of that just from the event objectives this week as well. But as far as this weapon, it is basically a alternative version of Mang. And if you don't currently have Mang, it is basically your new Mang. It destroys an enemy's armor and then deals damage to them. And then it gives all allies 2 attack boosted by armor destroyed at a 1:3 boost ratio. Basically meaning this gives more overall attack gain than that of a Mang, though it's going to be distributed throughout your team instead of all in one. This isn't as good for raids, but for invasions is exceptionally well, because the invasion troops have 3 times to 5 times extra damage every single time they end up hitting with their skulls onto the towers. And of course, in this game mode, almost all of them end up being towers, especially once you get to the later ones. Of course, all 4 of them are towers, so you'll be able to basically just feed an attack buff, a really high attack buff from your hero onto your raid troops, or your invasion troops, I mean. So going to be very effective. As far as which one is better, Mang or this, it's really situational. Personally, I still feel like Mang in most situations will be better. but at least for invasions, it is definitely worth considering throwing down the Earth's Fury. But in most other instances, I would say Mang would be the better option to go. But still, nonetheless, this actually does have slightly better perks than that of a Mang, so it has that going for it too, if you're planning on fully maxing out the weapon with eventually with legendary ingots. Other than that, let's see, that looks like we have all those things down. Let's go into some teams then. So, first off, as far as all the glory thing, as I was mentioning earlier, it is possible to farm a lot of glory right now. Sunbird or Dragon Soul if you want to, into basically any hero weapon. I'm going War and Peace here for two reasons. One is it just fits into the coloration. The other is because it's super easy to obtain. You get it from the Tacet Kingdom all the way up north after you complete out the questline. Really quick, easy, actually quickest AoE weapon in the entire game to obtain. It only takes about a few hours or less just from doing the questlines, probably even in an hour. And if you already started some of them, you don't barely even need to do anything. It's just complete out Donna, complete out Keyzale, and you get the weapon. Other than that, we have the Dire-BOAR, which will be giving us one additional. Also noteworthy on our hero specifically, which I didn't actually show. If we click on this and click over to our class, as I mentioned, there are some classes that do have on their talent tree the extra 1 glory. This ends up giving 1 glory every PvP battle you do, and this does count for casual PvP. So this does stack as well with any other bonuses, like the 5 off of him, as well as anything that you might have from your guild statue and all that. And other than that, we just have a Firebomb here, which of course explodes, gives us instant mana. You do need to have that fully traded, but it's a common, so it's ridiculously easy to do. And we just have our banner set to a +2 purple, +1 red, -1 yellow, just to simply get our Sunbird up as quickly as possible to try to instantly kill it out, or at least apply a lot of damage very quick. So let's go take that, go and see if we get full mana off of that. Apparently War and Peace is already enough. Throw that down. Not dead yet, but we'll go and just throw down any of our many other abilities. I guess we'll throw down the Boar. It's event week this week, so we might as well get a kill with it. And there we go, as you can see. Ends up getting killed pretty quick. We end up getting the, where's the glory? As you can see, we end up getting 9 glory. Normally the battle would only be worth 3, as you can see, but we ended up getting 5 additional from using the Boar on our team, as well as 1 additional from using the hero class itself. So you could definitely stack up a lot of glory that way, and simply just keep repicking these if the battle is too strong, and just keep doing this until you find a Firebomb or something weak enough that you can actually take out with whatever quick team you may have. So next up, let's go show Infernus and Fair Shra. So Infernus, some of you may have already seen it quite a bit based on anything that I may do generally in late game. It is very, very common this late in the game, but earlier on in the game you probably don't see it as often, but definitely highly, highly advised to get. Best, most consistent damage source currently within the game, and is probably going to stay like that for a while. They had many opportunities to nerf it, and they still haven't yet, so still kind of surprised that they haven't. But they still haven't, so still really nice to have. We'll go throw the right over. We will throw Ubistet here. Keep in mind, we are using the Ubistet version of this at the moment, but if you don't have Ubistet, you can easily go replace this out with Diviner, or even a fully traded Mercy, though of course Diviner. Diviner, yes. Yes. Diviner. For a second I thought I forgot her name. But yeah, the brown-green that converts a target to yellow. That. Well, we'll go throw that down. Haven't used it in so long because I keep using it Ubistet instead. I almost forgot her name. So we'll go throw a that down. There's starting to add too many things with Divine, like Divinia, all the Divines, Diviner Spala. This just needs to stop on all the Divines. It is so meta right now. But anyways, that's that. And of course, as far as the soul farming thing with Fair Shra, generally what you do for this is go to any easy kingdom. My personal favorite is always first challenge Divinian Fields, put up to Warlord 2 difficulty. Regardless of your stats, you always put it to Warlord 2 difficulty. And you just go with this team, or any similar team that you're capable of building with it. Dragon Soul in first slot, Fair Shra, Azurus, Umber Wolf, all fully traded except for Dragon Soul, which does not need to be fully traded, but everything else does. Fair Shra ends up giving you all the soul bonus, of course. Azurus gives you a small soul bonus as well as extra magic link. And Umber Wolf ends up giving you a perpetual Darkstorm. You can replace out Azurus as an upgrade into a Fair Shra. You can also downgrade Umber Wolf into a second Azurus. You can also downgrade both of the Azuruses, or Azurus Umber Wolf, down to a double Warlock if you don't have other options, and just go with that. And of course, technically, you could even go and upgrade all of it to just triple Fair Shra if you really want to go down that. The reason we put it to Warlord 2 difficulty is this challenge, as well as a few others out there, are capable of being destroyed in 3 casts at Warlord 2 difficulty. And this will allow you to not only hit max capacity of souls, but it will also give you extra. Whenever you set the difficulty higher, you are getting a small % of extra souls every single battle based on the difficulty, and that can definitely help speed up the soul grinding quite a bit. This particular team that we're using right now can vary quite a bit, but it is more towards around, based on your bonuses, but it is around about a 30 to 40,000 per hour and can get up to about 50,000 per hour with triple Fairish Raw or double Fairish Raw with a Umbral Wolf. As you can see right there, just that battle that took us, what, about 30 seconds or so. We end up getting 425 souls for based on our current bonuses. Of course, that could be higher, lower based on what bonuses you have for souls, based on like your hero armor and all that kind of stuff, and VIP bonus. But generally, it's going to be the absolute fastest you could ever do, and will definitely save you a lot of time regardless of how many Fairish Raws you have, even if you only have one of them currently available. Anyways, let's go into... That's a very annoying team. That's also a very annoying team. I want to go show a early game version of boars real quick. Of course, Dire-Boar is more of an early game oriented troop, so I figured we throw something very cheap together. Double Boar using his fast trait utilization, combined with a Alchemist with a Goblin Rocket. Always nice having that Goblin Rocket for extra board control. Entire team is just based around the premise of as much board control as we could possibly build. So we'll go take that. Go and get a Alchemist down, and should pretty much be good to go from there. Only real big issue right here is this board is horrible for us right now. We don't currently have a correct convert, so let's go take that. Ideally, well, okay, sweet. We do get the extra turn right there. He already has hit a pretty substantial amount of damage, so hopefully he won't be able to keep persisting that. I'll move that over. Actually could have taken a Goblin Rocket right there. Probably actually should have. Could have gotten that down and then taken the yellow to get a little bit of extra damage. Always want to be utilizing those extra turn spams that you can be doing. We can try setting down some knockdowns as well if we really want to. Either setting it up or just simply destroying them if we want. Really just depends which way we want to go about it. Apparently right now we don't seem to have any of them, so let's go move that, move the other one. Still don't have any. We have one right there, but it's not too worth it. We only get red out of it, and as you can see, we're kind of already at full manas. Let's go for now on the Goblin Rocket, drag that down, and now we can finally get one of those. It's not for an extra turn, but still at least good enough that I think we will go for that one. We can get a nice amount of mana right there too. We'll go for a double poke here though first. Just get that little bit of red. Oh, he already gets the full automatically. Get the thing off the top right there. We don't have Alchemist to go do anymore, but we'll try for an extra turn right there. If we take that, there's a chance we'll extra turn off a blue, as you can see right there. Before we do that, let's go see if we can actually set up another thing to fall down. So we're just going to try getting rid of this area, and no, it doesn't look like we can actually get anything there now. But we'll go and simply go take this out, try for the extra turn there. We did not land it, but at least we had the chance. Just taking too many skulls, stop it. But we'll go and just get an Alchemist down, and you basically just keep repeating the cycle, and just keep taking them out that way. And you get 5 additional glory for doing so, due to having the boars. And of course, you could just put your hero in there too if you want to go and get that extra one, just to kind of put it all together, or simply run the previous team, which in more realistically would probably work better, but this one is ever so slightly cheaper due to not needing as many traits. You only really need his fast trait, Alchemist second, and Goblin Rocket first, which is slightly lower. But anyways, we'll go and what do we need here? I don't think we have a good drop here. I haven't been getting too many good drops this time around. But we'll go and just take that down, just so we get the nice little skull, take the other skull, and of course we still have the other one. It's nice having two different versions of board control. We have the row as well as the 3x3. It gives you a lot more options as far as what you can move on the board in order to try to attempt various extra turns and board manipulation. So quite a bit of fun things to be messing around with it. And oh, I forgot one other thing. As far as invasions, I did not even go over the teams itself. I knew I forgot one thing. There was something. There was definitely something. But anyways, the team that I will probably be using is double of the new Ray Troop with the new weapon, as well as Garnock. Pretty much Garnock always. If you have him, definitely be using him this time around. It will give all orcs, which you're restricted to, since you're restricted to orcs this time around. So getting this for its 50% mana onto all orcs is very, very insanely useful. Other than that, we're just using Titan on this, as you pretty much normally would on most raids weeks and invasion weeks. It just has a lot of extra benefits that you'll end up being able to get, like Barrier and Rage. Really depends which slot you're going to be using it in. Generally, if you only have one, you'll be using it like with the Raid Troop, followed by your hero, followed by, I guess in this case, it would be any of the purple troops within the kingdom. You could use something like the Drake Rider would be the absolute cheapest, or you could go more expensive into something like a Soul's Aura. Well, let's just go show this real quick. I actually have it set to a double yellow related banner. Main reason for this is I want to feed Garnock up. He's going to be our main mana generator, surprisingly. Not normally used as one, well, kind of in a way, but basically what we're going to be doing is rushing up as many yellows as possible. This is has a nice byproduct of also denying out all the yellow from the Val Raven on the opposing team. so that we don't have to deal with it. And what's +2 yellow, when he has a half mana start, if you surge it, it's actually full mana too, which is really nice. But we'll go for this, have a decent enough amount of orcs that we should hopefully land at whenever we get it. Not always, but more often than not, it is probably going to land. So right here, we're just going to take a skull poke into, I guess, the final little hit on it. I'm probably going to overkill it by using one of these abilities on it, or we'll take another skull, sure, that's perfectly fine. As far as this raid troop this week, it's so lackluster. It's pretty much like the most generic, invasion. It's the most generic invasion that you can really get, but we'll go throw down a one shot, throw the thing on that, go from there. Once we get 4 towers, this is going to be even... Oh, he didn't die! 1 HP! But once we get to the later towers, of course, you'd be able to go and hit the extra skull damage on all of them. We still have the initial troops. And, of course, once you reach the 4 towers, you also don't need to deal with Val Ravens anymore, which is also nice. But basically, you just rush up to yellow, get him down, cast him, hope he lands, go from there, get an attack buff off of Earth's Fury, which basically is just like a Mang, except it gives the attack buff to everything on your team instead of just your hero, and to a slightly less degree, of course. And it's pretty much the whole game plan for every single one of these battles. And you just keep plowing them down with skulls. Every single skull would pretty much one-shot, if not one-shot, pretty close to 2. And you're giving it so much extra attack. And of course, whatever multiplier you have, let's say you're giving them 30 additional attack, that's technically 90 damage, even if you have it at just base rarity, so that's a lot of potential. You do, of course, need to have his final trait, but that shouldn't take more than about an hour or 2 to really go farm out, maybe more towards 2. But all we have to do now is just poke it 2 more times. It's big enough too. And I guess we'll go kill it out with nothing, because I don't have anything that has enough damage yet. We'll go take that. That's actually not going to be enough to clear through. We'll try for the skull. Come on, lucky skull. No skull. Okay, we'll just go hit it with this ability into the other thing. It's the only slight issue when it's not the towers yet. Could he probably throw something like Dawnbringer if you have it, or even War and Peace or something at this point. Or maybe not War and Peace, because it's kind of blocked by those. But, you know, some kind of AoE weapon to clear out the initial battles is always nice if you feel like you can take it. But anyways, that is pretty much everything with this current event. If you guys still have any other questions about anything, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to go over them. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful week. Actually, one last thing I should probably mention before I do end up. Real quick, if you still are interested in Suna, while she isn't the greatest, she is still available until... Where on earth is it? Right over here. That's why I can see it. But she's still available until this Friday reset. It doesn't actually have a timer on it, so I did want to just bring it to everyone's attention again. But yeah, she's available until this Friday reset, so basically until the end of Thursday. So if you are still interested in obtaining her, she is still currently the only mythic within the drop tables. So if you're not interested in obtaining her, then make sure not to use your keys until at least after this Friday. Because if you use your keys and you get a mythic, it's going to be her guarantee. So just wait a while if you don't want her, or do them now if you do want her. Anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful week, everyone. Goodbye!